The conference room on the 42nd floor of Raytech Group felt like a pressure cooker. Fluorescent lights hummed, glass walls reflected pale faces, and the city skyline glared in from behind the woman at the head of the table. Selena Walker sat in the main chair, charcoal suit sharp, red lipstick the only color in the room. She tapped her pen on the table, each click tightening the intern's shoulders. 3 presentations down, 3 disasters. One crashed the demo, one forgot his lines, one tried to bluff about cloud security, and failed so badly the senior engineers were still wincing. Selena felt a dull throb in her temples. She had flown back overnight, slept 2 hours, and walked straight into this quarterly intern evaluation. She had hoped, for once, to see real potential. Next, she said. Lucy, her assistant, checked the list. Ethan Cole, a tall young man in a too clean but worn white shirt and dark jeans, stood up from the back row. Compared with the polished suits around him, he looked like a lost student, but his eyes were steady. He crossed to the screen, plugged in his laptop, and opened a dashboard filled with graphs. "Good morning," he said. "My name is Ethan Cole. This is my proposal for an adaptive AI engine to optimize Raytech's cloud resource allocation in real time." He did not rush. He explained latency bottlenecks and cost leakage without drowning anyone in jargon. Where other interns had waved at buzzwords, he broke down risks and trade-offs with quiet precision. On the screen, a simulation pulsed as virtual traffic spiked and dipped. "Right now we reserve capacity based on historical averages," Ethan said. "When we hit unexpected peaks, we overbuy emergency resources. It protects uptime, but our monthly bills balloon." He hit a key, the graphs shifted. "This engine reacts minute by minute. In tests, it cut deployment costs by 15%, while keeping current stability thresholds." A senior engineer frowned. "Where are you handling anomaly events?" he asked. "What happens if someone attempts a denial of service?" Ethan did not blink. "Section 3. He said, pulling up the code. "We isolate suspicious clusters into a sandbox and route critical services away." For the first time that morning, Selena's headache eased. He finished with a small nod. "Thank you." Silence hung for 1 beat too long. Selena realized she had been staring. Her heart gave a strange, uncharacteristic jump. She forced her voice back to cool. "There are 3 places your model can improve," she said. "Your anomaly threshold is conservative, your fallback is slow, and your dashboard is not friendly enough for non-engineers." She paused. "Can you fix those by the end of the day?" Ethan blinked once, calculating. "Yes." Mark Harris, the software manager 2 levels down, jumped in. "Of course he can," Mark said loudly. "The kid should be honored you are even giving him that kind of feedback, Ms. Walker." He clapped Ethan's shoulder a little too hard. "Do not waste the chance, all right? Our CEO does not hold hands twice." Weak laughter rippled through the room. Selena's eyes cut to Mark. "I did not ask for your commentary," she said. "Or your metaphors about my hands." The room stilled. Mark's smile froze. "I just meant your guidance is rare," he said quickly. "That is all." "Then say that," Selena replied. "And keep your hands off my interns unless you are paying their medical bills." He snatched his hand back. Selena turned to Ethan. "You have until 6, she said. "If you need resources, ask Lucy. From now on, you report directly to me on this project." Mark's head jerked up. "Ms. Walker, generally interns go through their department heads." He began. "I am aware of our hierarchy," Selena said. "I built most of it. Ethan reports to me." She reached into her blazer and pulled out a matte black company card. "This is an unlimited corporate card," she said, holding it out. "If you need software or hardware, use this. No approvals." Ethan stared at the card. "Ms. Walker, that is not necessary," he said. "I can work with what I have." "It is necessary if I say it is," she replied. "Take it." He hesitated, then took it. Their fingers brushed for half a second. It was nothing. It felt like a spark. "That is all," Selena said. Everyone else, dismissed. As the group filed out, Lucy stayed, tablet in hand, eyes bright. "So," she said when the door closed. "Do you want me to title my notes The Day Our CEO Fell in Love at an Intern Demo? Or is that too long?" "Lucy," Selena warned. Lucy grinned. "I am just saying, you have never handed an intern a black card before," she said. "And you stared at him like he was a bug fix for your soul." "I am interested in his talent," Selena said crisply. "Nothing else." "Sure," Lucy said. "You are interested in his talent, and his eyes, and the fact he did not faint when you did your ice queen death stare." I do not have a death stare, Selina said. You do, Lucy replied. He survived. That is impressive. Selina ignored her. But later, alone at the window, looking down at the city, she still saw a worn white shirt and a clear, steady gaze. Against her will, her heart did that jump again. Damn it. She had no time for this. Lucy, in the outer office, quietly opened a secret group chat and typed. Day 1. CEO gave an intern a black card and a direct line. Ship potential high. The next morning, Ethan stepped out of his apartment and froze. A long black car waited at the curb, glossy and quiet. The driver in a dark suit stepped forward. Mr. Cole? He asked. Yes, Ethan said slowly. I am from Raytech. The driver said. Miss Walker asked me to bring you to work from now on. Ethan stared at the car. He had grown up timing his life to bus schedules. His idea of luxury transport was getting a subway seat. That is not necessary, he said. I take the subway. It is fine. Miss Walker said you might say that. The driver replied. She told me to tell you this is a safety policy. It was a bad excuse and a worse lie, but Ethan did not know how to argue without sounding ungrateful. He climbed in. The leather seat whispered under him. At the top floor, Selina watched the security feed, coffee in hand. Lucy peered over her shoulder. Very subtle, Lucy said. No one will notice the intern arriving in a car worth more than my student loans. It is a safety policy, Selina muttered. For whom? Lucy asked. For him or for your feelings? Selina glared. He lives in a rough neighborhood, she said. If anything happened to him on the way to the office, the project would suffer. Totally, Lucy said. Purely about uptime. Selina checked the time. Where is the cake? She asked. In the break room, Lucy said. With a sticky note that says team treat. I am not letting you kill him on your second attempt. Selina frowned. Kill him? Strawberries, Lucy said. He is allergic. He mentioned it in orientation. You were answering emails. Selina's stomach lurched. I ordered a strawberry cake, she said. I noticed, Lucy replied. Relax. Mark already ate 2 slices. He will likely survive. Selina rubbed her forehead. I will cancel next time, she muttered. Or, Lucy said. You could just ask Ethan what he actually likes. Later that morning, Ethan was at his desk, headphones on, when a shadow fell across his monitor. He looked up. Selina. Sharp suit, sharper gaze. The dev floor fell silent. Ethan, she said. Walk with me. He followed her into a small conference room, mind racing through everything he could have done wrong. On the table sat 2 cups of coffee and a small paper bag. I heard you like black coffee, she said. I do, he said, still wary. Good, she replied. So do I. She pushed 1 cup toward him and nudged the bag. And this is a test. Inside was a warm chocolate muffin. No strawberries. You are allergic, she said. I remembered. He stared at her. You remembered that? He asked. It was 1 line on the first day. An allergic reaction would hurt my quarterly reports, she said dryly. He smiled. Thank you, he said. They drank coffee in awkward silence for a moment. You did well in the evaluation, she said. Do not let it go to your head. You will still break things. I already did, he admitted. I pushed the simulation too hard and crashed the test cluster. And? She asked. I rolled back and rewrote the part that broke, he said. Added a limiter so it will not crash as easily. She nodded. Good, she said. If you had told me you called IT and cried, I would have fired you. He laughed. No crying, he said. Not in front of people, anyway. Something flickered in his eyes, a tiredness that did not come from late nights. She wanted to ask. She did not. About the car. She said instead. If it makes you uncomfortable, we can stop. I was not trying to put you on display. You were not? He asked. I forget not everyone enjoys being tracked, she said. If you prefer, we switch to a quiet subway pass. He studied her. Most executives would double down on the gesture, call it policy. She looked almost embarrassed. I appreciate the ride, he said. But the subway is fine, safer for my brain. Then we will do that, she replied. And I will tell the driver to forget your face. She tapped a message into her phone. One more thing, she added. If anyone gives you trouble about reporting to me, tell me. I do not care who it is. Even Mark? Ethan asked. Especially Mark, she said. Lucy, ear pressed almost to the conference room door, grinned as she heard Ethan's quiet laugh. Day 2. She typed into her secret chat. CEO tried car and cake, both failed. Coffee and muffin success. Progress shared pastry, softer voice, 3 almost smiles. Ship moving. By the end of the week, everyone on the dev floor knew 2 things. 1. The new intern with the worn shirt and sharp brain had become Ms. Walker's favorite project. 2. Mark hated it. He had spent years imagining that one day Selena would finally notice him. He brought her coffee, bragged loudly about his team's performance, and sacrificed weekends for deployments he did not need to attend. In his head, he had earned the right to stand close to her. Then Ethan had walked in with a cheap laptop, and the story in Mark's mind cracked. On Friday, Ethan sat at his desk when Mark appeared with a tight smile. "Got a minute?" Mark asked. "Sure," Ethan said carefully. Mark leaned on his desk. "I hear you have been working directly with Ms. Walker," he said. "Big deal. Congrats." "Thank you," Ethan said. "The thing is," Mark continued, "we have a structure here, a chain of command. If every intern starts bypassing their manager, it creates chaos. Ms. Walker asked me to report to her on this project," Ethan said. "It was her idea." "Right," Mark said. "She can do what she wants. She is the CEO." His eyes hardened. "But she trusts me to manage my people," he added. "You are in my department, so from now on, before you send anything to her, I want to see it first. Clear?" Ethan folded his hands. "I can copy you on updates," he said. "But if she asks for something directly, I am not going to tell her to wait." Mark's jaw flexed. "You know, interns are easy to replace," he said quietly. "There are 100 kids who would kill for this spot. You do not want to look ungrateful." Ethan's chest tightened. "I am not ungrateful," he said. "I am doing what she asked." "Then do what I asked too," Mark said. "Or we will have a problem." He walked away. Lucy, pretending to sort binders nearby, had heard every word. Her fingers tightened on her tablet. That afternoon she sat in her corner with a small microphone plugged into her phone. "Quick question," she told security on the phone. "Our harassment policy covers managers threatening interns, right?" "Great." 2 days later, she caught the tail end of another conversation between Mark and Ethan, this time with the recorder on. Mark repeated his lines about replaceable interns. Ethan stayed calm. The recording app ticked away. In Selena's office, Ethan finished showing her his updated model. "And with the new thresholds, we cut false positives by 20%. He said. "Fallback handles spikes within 1.5 seconds. I added a simple dashboard mode for anyone who does not live in logs." Selena's lips twitched. "For managers," she said. "Not for CEOs? You are not a beginner," he said. "Correct answer," she replied. "This is good work, Ethan." He relaxed. "I heard Mark spoke to you," she said. "About reporting lines. He is worried about the chain of command." Ethan said carefully. "He asked me to send everything through him." "What do you think?" she asked. "I think the project owner should see the work early," he said. "If that is you, I send it to you." "Good," she said. "If you had let him bottleneck my project, I would have been disappointed." Before he could answer, Lucy came in. "Sorry to interrupt," she said. "We have a small problem with a big mouth." She held up her phone. Mark's recorded voice filled the room. "You know, interns are easy to replace," the recording said. "There are 100 kids out there with good grades and flashy projects who would kill for this spot. You do not want to look ungrateful." When it ended, silence dropped. Selena's expression went cold. "How long has this been going on?" she asked. "Long enough," Lucy said. "This is just the cleanest audio." Ethan shifted. "I do not want him in trouble because of me," he said. "He is still a manager. I am just." "Do not finish that sentence," Selena said. "I do not care what your title is. No one in this company gets to threaten you." "Ms. Walker, I really am fine," he said. "You are professional," she corrected. "There is a difference." She straightened. "Gather everyone in the common area," she told Lucy. HR 2. 10 minutes later, the dev floor was packed. Selena stood at the front, Lucy and HR beside her, Mark in the middle of the crowd, face tense. "Raytech has 3 core values," Selena said. "Innovation, integrity, respect." She let the last word hang. "Respect is not optional," she continued. "It is not something you only show people above you on a chart." Her gaze landed on Mark. "This week, a manager chose to ignore that," she said. He used his position to intimidate an intern. He told him he was replaceable, that there were 100 people ready to take his spot, that he should be grateful for being allowed to work here. She pressed a button. Mark's own words played over the speakers. By the time the recording ended, his face was almost gray. "That is not the culture we are building," Selena said. "And that is not what I will tolerate." Effective immediately, your employment with Raytech is terminated. Mark stared at her. "You are firing me over an intern?" he demanded. "I am firing you because you do not understand leadership," she said. "You forgot that everyone in this building matters. You will regret this," he snapped. "One day that kid will leave like the rest, and you will have no one left who cares. If you think loyalty comes from fear, I regret keeping you this long," she replied. "Goodbye, Mark." Security moved in. No one stepped forward to defend him. When he was gone, Selena faced the room again. "If anyone ever makes you feel like you do not belong here, come to me," she said. "If you cannot find me, go to Lucy. We will deal with it." Her gaze brushed Ethan for a heartbeat. Their eyes met. Something settled in his chest. No one had ever used their power to shield him like this. As people drifted back to their desks, Lucy nudged Ethan. "You know there is an entire group chat screaming that this was the most romantic thing they have ever seen in an office, right?" she said. He groaned. "That was a management decision," he said. "Sure," Lucy said. "A management decision that just made 20 people ship you two harder." 2 weeks later, Raytech held its annual Innovation Gala. Investors, partners, and half of tech Twitter packed into a hotel ballroom under crystal chandeliers. Selena hated it, but she played her part. In her office, Lucy held up 2 dresses. "Black or red?" she asked. "Black," Selena said. "Less attention." Lucy snorted. "You could wear a hoodie and still get attention," she said. "Red." The red dress was simple and sharp, with a clean neckline and a modest slit. Selena eyed it. "It is too much," she said. "It is exactly enough," Lucy replied. "And for once people will see you are not actually made of concrete." At his apartment, Ethan wrestled with a borrowed suit and a tie that refused to sit straight. He felt ridiculous and underdressed at the same time. When the gala invite with his name on it had arrived, he had checked twice to make sure it was not a mistake. Now he was about to walk into a room full of people who owned more stock than he had dollars. Inside the ballroom, screens looped product highlights. Waiters glided with trays. Ethan stood near the edge, trying not to look completely lost. Then the crowd shifted. Selena appeared at the top of the short staircase in the red dress, hair swept back, posture straight. The usual armor of her suit was gone, the steel in her eyes remained. Conversations dipped. He could not look away. Her gaze swept the room, cataloging investors, reporters, threats. Then it found him. For a moment, her expression softened. She crossed the floor. "Ethan," she said. "Ms. Walker," he replied. "You look." He caught himself. "Different," he finished. "I will accept that," she said. "You clean up well." "It is borrowed," he said. "But thank you." She hesitated, then pulled a small velvet box from her clutch. "This is not a romantic gesture," she said quickly. "It is for the presentation." Inside was a silver pin shaped like a tiny circuit board with a star. "It is our internal award pin," she said. "For major technical contributions. The board has not approved it yet, but I have. I do not think I deserve this," he said. "That is how I know you do," she replied. She stepped closer to attach it to his lapel. Her fingers brushed the fabric near his collar. His heartbeat picked up. Across the room, Lucy watched, sipping champagne. "Fanfic writes itself," she murmured. Later, after speeches and polite laughter, Ethan escaped to the balcony. The city spread below, lights flickering. He leaned on the rail, breathing cooler air. "Do CEOs get smoke breaks?" he asked when he heard the door open. "CEOs get sanity breaks," Selena said, joining him. "This is one. You were good up there," he said. "On stage." "I have had practice," she said. "I still hate it." He studied her profile. "You gripped the podium so hard I thought it might crack," he said. "And you only smiled with your mouth. When you are actually happy, your eyes change." She glanced at him. "You have been watching me a lot," she said. "You are kind of hard to miss," he replied. He took a breath. "When I first came here," he said, "I figured the company would chew me up. I do not talk like these people. I do not dress like them. I thought I would keep my head down and leave with a reference." "And now?" she asked. Now I am thinking I might want to stay. He said. Because of you. Her pulse stuttered. Ethan. She began. I know. He said quickly. You are my boss. There is a power gap. There are policies. I am not asking for anything right this second. He held her gaze. But you should know. He said. I am not here because of the card, or the car, or the pin. I am here because when someone came after me, you stood between us. And because when you look at me, you see what I can do, not where I came from. Her throat felt tight. I protect my people, she said. I know. He said. I just happen to want to be one of your people in more than one way. The words hung between them, too clear to ignore. I do not know how to do this, she admitted. I know how to run teams and close deals. I do not know how to be soft. Who said you have to be soft? He asked. I like you sharp. There are rules, she said. If we ever did this, it would have to be clear. No secret favoritism. We can talk to HR, he said. We can set boundaries. We can make sure no one else gets hurt. What about you? She asked. People will say you are only here because of me. They already do, he said. Right now it is half true. I am here because of a job and because of you. The job part is the one they cannot argue with when they look at the code. She huffed a small laugh. Not tonight, she said. I need time to think, to talk to legal, to make sure we do not blow up both our lives over one balcony conversation. He nodded. Okay, he said. I can wait. She hesitated. But I can say this much, she added. I do not see you as just my intern either. His shoulders dropped, tension easing. That is enough, he said. For tonight. Inside, the MC called her name. She stepped toward the door, then looked back. Thank you for staying, she said. Always, he replied. The gala photos hit the internet within days. A blurry shot of Selena and Ethan on the balcony, a zoom on his lapel pin, a blog post with the headline, Raytech CEO gives intern special award, power imbalance, or office fairytale? In the break room, people pretended to scroll email while reading comments. On the dev floor, whispers hummed just under normal conversations. Selena stood in her office with a printout of one article, jaw clenched. This is getting out of hand, she said. Lucy sat across from her. It was always going to happen, she said. You are a young CEO in tech. If you stand next to someone twice, the internet marries you. I can handle gossip, Selena said. What I cannot handle is shareholders wondering if I am making decisions with my heart. Lucy watched her. Are you? She asked quietly. Selena looked up sharply. Ethan is brilliant, she said. He earned every opportunity. But that is not what they see. Then we fix the optics, Lucy said. Talk to HR, put guardrails in place. Or, she hesitated. Or, Selena asked. Or you create distance, Lucy said. At least until he is not directly under you. The words hit harder than any bored question. Create distance. Selena had built her life on distance. Now she had finally let someone close. The rational part of her whispered that pushing him back might protect him. The rest of her hated the idea. Downstairs, Ethan answered a call from his mother. I saw your name on some site, she said. Are you in trouble? No, he said quickly. People online have too much time. I am fine. He hung up feeling less fine. When Lucy appeared at his desk, her expression told him everything. She wants to see you, Lucy said. Now. In the office, Selena stood by the window, arms folded. Ethan, she said. Ms. Walker, he replied. The distance in his own voice surprised him. We need to talk about the rumors, she said. They are not going away on their own. They are ridiculous, he said. Anyone who has seen the work knows that. They are predictable, she said. And they can hurt you, and the company. He waited. I am moving you, she said. You will still work on the engine, but you will report to the CTO, not to me. No more rides. No more closed-door meetings unless others are present. If we see each other outside work, it will be in groups. He stared at her. So you are building a wall, he said. I am putting structure in place, she said. You deserve to build your own reputation without whispers about sleeping your way up. He flinched. Is that what you think? He asked. No, she said quickly. It is what they will say. I am trying to protect you from that. And what about us? He asked. The word hung in the air before he could catch it. Her jaw tightened. There is no us, she said. Not officially. Not while this can blow up your career in the first year. He felt like the floor had dropped. Is that what you want? He asked. No, us. It does not matter what I want, she said. It matters what is safe for you. You are my boss, he said. You fire people with one sentence. You think I have not thought about risk? I am asking you to trust me, she said. Just for now. He looked past her at the skyline. Fine, he said at last. If that is what you think is best, I will report to the CTO. I will keep my head down. I will pretend the balcony never happened. Something in her face cracked for a heartbeat. Ethan, she began. I get it, he said, stepping back. You chose the company. That is who you are. He walked out. Lucy watched him go, then stepped into the office. How bad? She asked. Bad, Selena said. I did the right thing. Then why do you look like someone cut your favorite server cluster in half? Lucy asked. Because I just pushed away the only person here who looks at me and does not see a quarterly report, Selena said. The next weeks were heavy. Ethan moved to another section of the floor. He sent updates through formal channels. He stopped glancing at the top floor elevator. Selena threw herself into work harder than ever. Deals closed. Numbers rose. Her inbox stayed full. At night, alone in her office, she still found her eyes drifting to the dev floor camera feed. Lucy eventually cornered her. This is not sustainable, Lucy said. The press has moved on. The only people still suffering are you and Ethan. The board still has opinions, Selena said. The board always has opinions, Lucy replied. You built a company they said would fail. Why are you suddenly treating them like gods? I do not want to ruin his career, Selena said quietly. Then build it with him, Lucy said. Make him so good no one can say he is here only because of you. And stop deciding for him like he is a child. Selena stared at the ceiling. For once, she let herself imagine not running from what she wanted. Call HR, she said. I want to know exactly what we need to do if we stop pretending this is just professional. Lucy smiled. Already made a draft, she said. 2 days later, Selena walked into the lab. Ethan sat hunched over his screen, dark circles under his eyes. He straightened when he saw her. Ms. Walker, he said. Selena, she corrected. Can we talk? He followed her into a conference room, keeping his distance. I owe you an apology, she said. He frowned. For what? For deciding alone that distance was the only answer, she said. For pushing you away to protect myself from being vulnerable, and pretending it was only about protecting you. He stayed silent. I spoke to HR, she continued. If we want a relationship, there are conditions. You cannot report directly to me. I cannot be the one to approve your promotions. We disclose it formally so there are no secrets. They agreed to that, he asked. They like clear policies, she said. Lucy made slides. He almost smiled. Of course she did. She stepped closer. Ethan, she said. I want you. That has not changed. I am done pretending it is a minor inconvenience. He exhaled slowly. I am still your employee, he said. For now, she said. We will change that when it makes sense for you, not because I panic. He studied her. People will talk again, he said. They will, she said. This time I will not hide behind distance. He swallowed. My condition, he said, is that when it gets hard, you do not shut me out. We talk. We decide together. She nodded. Deal, she said. He let out a breath. Then yes, he said. To HR forms, to boundaries, to being the guy who makes coffee for the CEO in the morning and kisses her in private at night. A real smile curved her mouth. I like that job description, she said. She held out her hand. He took it. This time she did not let go. 6 months later, the AI engine went live. In the control room, graphs climbed and dipped across huge screens. The CTO hovered near Ethan. Investors watched from behind glass. Selena stood with her arms folded, expression calm, eyes sharp. Traffic spike in Region 3. Someone called. Ethan's fingers flew. Fallback engaged, he said. Anomaly filter holding. No dropped packets. Lines stabilized. By evening, early numbers showed exactly what he had promised: costs down, performance up, complaints flat. The board sent congratulatory messages. A few even apologized for doubting the risk of letting a young engineer lead. Raytech celebrated with pizza and cheap drinks in the cafeteria. Someone made a slideshow of late-night coding photos. Someone else set Mark's old "Interns are replaceable" line over Ethan's face with the caption, "Try me." Selena, in jeans and a simple blouse, stood by the wall with a paper plate. Ethan joined her, hoodie on, silver pin still on the chest. "How does it feel?" she asked. "Like we released a wild animal, and now we have to keep feeding it," he said. "But also good." "You did it," she said. "We did it." He bumped his shoulder lightly against hers. "Careful," he said. "You keep sounding proud of me, and I might think you are in love." She looked at him. "Good," she said. "Because I am." His breath caught, then he smiled. "Me too," he said. Lucy, not far away, made a strangled sound and turned it into a cough. Her secret chat lit up later. Day 187. She typed. "Engine launched," CEO said the L word in the cafeteria. No one exploded. Culture win. The months that followed were not glamorous. They were better. Ethan's title changed from intern to engineer to lead of a small team. He no longer reported to Selena, but everyone knew that when something critical broke, they would both end up in the same war room, sleeves rolled, arguing over logs until dawn. Their mornings settled into a quiet pattern. Ethan arrived early, picked up 2 black coffees, and left one on Selena's desk on his way to his floor. She sent a simple message in the company chat. "Thanks," he replied with a coffee emoji and a little star. At lunch, when meetings allowed, they sat in a corner of the cafeteria, talking about anything but work. He told her about scraping through school on scholarships. She told him about sleeping in the office in the early days of Raytech. On some evenings, when the building emptied out, they sat on the rooftop with takeout noodles, watching the city. "This is not how I pictured my life at 30, Selena said once. "I thought I would be alone in a glass box, rich and mildly bitter." "What changed?" he asked. "You ordered the wrong sandwich at the cafeteria and apologized 3 times, she said. "And then you wrote an engine my board could not argue with." He laughed. "You make me sound heroic," he said. "You are," she replied simply. HR's policy document did its job. Their relationship was official and boring on paper, which made it less interesting to gossip about. People saw that Ethan still worked hard, still took criticism, still fixed bugs at 2 in the morning. They saw that Selena still pushed everyone, still fired people who broke values, still showed up at 7 with her laptop and relentless questions. Respect replaced suspicion in most places. The rest, they learned to ignore. On a rare free Saturday morning, Ethan woke to the smell of coffee and soft humming. Selena stood in his tiny kitchen in one of his hoodies, hair in a messy knot, frowning in concentration at the machine she had finally mastered. "You are awake," she said. "I am now," he replied. She handed him a mug. "You have a free day," she said. "No launches, no investors. What do you want to do with this dangerous freedom?" "Spend it with my terrifying CEO girlfriend," he said. "Obviously." She smiled. They wandered a farmer's market, arguing about bread. They sat in a park, laptops left at home, watching kids chase each other. "I think about that first day sometimes," he said. "If I had crashed the demo, you probably would have forgotten my name." "No," she said. "I remember every demo. I would have remembered you as the intern who broke my cluster." He laughed. "It is weird," he said. "1 meeting, 1 black card, 1 bad cake. It was not that bad," she protested. "You would have put me in the hospital," he said. "Fine," she said. "Maybe I almost killed you with strawberries. I made up for it with coffee." "You did," he said. She leaned her head on his shoulder. For a moment, the world shrank to the weight of her against him and the rustle of leaves overhead. She had her company, her title, her empire of glass and code. He had his keyboard, his team, his stubborn belief that he could build systems that worked for more than the people at the top. Together, they had something neither of them had planned for. Not a scandal, not a headline, just the slow, steady middle of a life built 1 deploy, 1 bug fix, and 1 shared morning coffee at a time.
Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.